now. Trust me, I know the race is not for the swift ones. Endure and keep trotting through. What God has promised for you, son, is only for you. The rains will fall, the winds will blow. Yeah, the seeds of doubt will come, but don't let them grow. You see the lines on my face, the glaze in my eyes, they came the tears that I cried. And every time that I fell, story of my years, and it's the story of my life, the story of my life, the story of my life.
Hey,
Story of my life.
you got here quick, sir. How are you? Let me see.
I've seen God's grace in abundance. Every test built my faith. Never know how much you grow until you have
Let me
faith.
see. I send you the request.
Let God guide your steps. Hear my
Hi,
instructions. How you doing? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? I am so excited,
I'm excited
Mr.
too. Give me just one sec.
Listen, you have okay, so you have to tell me how to say your name. I have an idea, but I need you to say it.
Okay, it's Olaide Banks.
Oh, Olaide. Okay, I was like, well, I'm just gonna be safer with Banks.
Yeah, yeah, Olaide. Yeah, give me just one sec.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I want to welcome you to the Let's Chit Chat show with me, your girl Telly Lati, and my DJ Don Cardio. How are you? Oh wait, something happened to this thing.
I'm
Okay.
great. I'm great. Just once, I'm gonna get some headphones in so that I don't echo or do anything like that.
Okay, okay.
Ain't good deal. Story of my life, story of my life, story of my life, story of my life.
You guys were waiting. He's hooking up his headphones so that we could get to. You guys are gonna like him. He's another rising star. I love my rising stars. There you are.
Here I am.
How are you? I have to tell you, the story of my life is one of my favorites. I love it.
All right, I'm glad. I'm glad you like it. What do you like about it?
It's the instruments in it. I love instruments.
Got it. Okay,
It's like
nice.
a free line that you're saying. So tell us a little bit about your background. You've got a lot going on. You're like already a superstar. Like you grew up like this.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm a superstar. So my name is Olaide Banks. I'm originally from the island of Anguilla, that's in the Eastern Caribbean. For people who don't know, um, I now live in the Houston area, but my musical home base is still Anguilla. My dad is a guy by the name of Banky Banks. My brother is a guy by the name of Omari Banks. Both of them are reggae artists who, done a lot of things ahead of time. My dad, a reggae pioneer starting back in the 70s. Um, and I grew up on the island. I grew up there until I was almost 19, came to the States to go to college, um, got a degree in accounting, finance, did all that, went to law school, practiced doing that, and but I've worked in the music business behind the scenes for many years, not just with my dad and my brother, but with other people as well, and primarily on the business side, but also on the songwriting side, and a little less than 5 years ago, I decided um, to do my thing professionally
Let's
and step in front of the camera.
we'll join the family. It's in me. It's a calling.
There you go.
This, what made you go from being an attorney to a singer?
The way that I got into, so I've been singing all the time. So I grew up singing, doing choirs, doing all these different types of things. And then in my probably about maybe 12 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 13 years ago, I started, seriously doing it, playing music, singing, playing guitar and stuff like that in churches. So that was where it is, like in bands and churches and part of that. And so I became part of what's called like a music ministry, right? And so I would lead a music ministry as a worship leader, worship pastor, things like that. And so I kind of helped to hone my skills in that area, continue to grow because that's something when you're doing that for people who are not involved in church and who the last time they went to church, they might have been standing up and sitting down singing hymns. Like when you go to church right now, it's a pretty big production. You got a band, you got people who got to be pretty skilled at what they're doing. And
Mm-hmm.
that's, part of that process. And so that helped me to kind of grow and cultivate my skills. And it also help me to find my voice. One of the things that I say is that, probably before 10, 11 years ago, um, I would have had I could sing. Sometimes I'll do background vocals for my dad, for my brother, something like that. But if I had to be in the front, I would probably deal with stage fright or something like that because I wasn't using my voice and not my literal voice, but the voice of what it is that is important to me and what I need to say. And so once I found my voice as an artist, you know, singing in churches and doing music that from my perspective, was feeding people's soul and spirit in a different way that was more in line with what was important to me, then that helped me to gain the confidence. So, now, no matter how many people I'm in front of, I don't have that. I don't have a sense of fear. I get butterflies like every other artist, but I don't have a sense of fear because I know that I'm using my voice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the great singers do come
Mhm.
from church.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. Yeah, there's a lot of them still in there. A lot of them right there right now.
Yeah, it's so funny you said that. You would never know. I'm a pastor's child.
Oh, there you go. Don't say that. Don't say that.
Hey,
don't
we're,
don't say
we're the
again.
worst. We're the worst.
Oh, really? Okay. So I've
Yeah,
heard, but I don't know.
like, oh God, you are a pastor's child. Lord have mercy. Woo, pray for her. Listen,
Okay.
so tell me, what does your work aim to say?
For me, what I'm trying to do is just kind of feed people. So this album, and I'll talk about it from the context of the album because that's really my biggest body of work to date.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm doing is speaking to people and really helping people to understand who they are, right?
I
Yeah,
love it. It's finding your inner being. I swear, I
yeah,
read with the album, so it was just you could just listen, like you could fall asleep to it. It's just
yeah,
so calming like that.
yeah. Well, I'm
Almost like
glad you said that. Yeah. So
it's like a
that's what it is. Finding, helping to discover who it is you are. And um, from my perspective, I define myself as a Christian. I define myself as somebody who is a person of faith, and um, and I find my significant part of my identity in through my faith. But a big part of my identity as well is my Africanness, and that's one of the things that I try to unpack in my work is the love for who I am and who we are as people, the history that we come from, and how we redefine ourselves by shaking off, the stereotypes and identities that
mm,
other people have placed on us, and
Yeah.
learning to learning to embrace something positive, because I think so much of how pop culture
Mm-hmm.
and other elements of society seek to define us as Black people, as people of the African diaspora, is in a very stereotypical way. Um, but we love each other. We value family. We value generational knowledge and these types of things. And so there's an important need to kind of amplify those things, because if you only look at what is pop culture gives to us and what whoever the gatekeepers in pop culture um, allow to bubble to the surface,
Mm-hmm.
then you'd think that we're only this. All we could do is, you know,
Raw
take
people.
Molly, rob
Yeah.
people, shoot people, do all these types of things.
Be very bold.
And yeah, exactly. And when the vast majority of us want um, what every human being wants, and that's to be a part of a family, to be able to um, love our children, raise our children, celebrate, do things like that. We want all the same things, but we need to be able to amplify those things and show those things um, from ourselves. And that's part of what my music seeks to do.
It does. It definitely does. So, what about the music makes you feel passionate?
Um, I don't think I understand your question.
When you're passionate about the music, like you want to help everybody, but what's like your target? You want them to go like in a positive way, like to stop and you basically like say you have a group of young kids, they want to go rob.
Mhm.
You just
Yeah.
want them to hear your song before they go, and then they're like, "Man,
No, no, it's not gonna work like that. Just like if somebody sing a song about taking Molly, chopping, or doing whatever it is that they do, that's not gonna make somebody go out and do those things. If somebody's intent on committing crimes or living in a deviant kind of way,
yeah,
just hearing my song once is not gonna say, "Oh man, let me just change my life." Um, but one of the things I think part of introducing something broader to the culture is um, being a part of the conversation, being a part of the whole experience. It kind of filters out and it kind of rubs off. So one of the things that I say sometimes is I want some of my music to be part of, just like how you have music from other generations, like a Prince or Michael Jackson or
ah,
somebody like that, where
yeah,
at the picnic you gonna always hear a Prince song, you always hear a Michael Jackson song, you may hear an Al Jarreau song, you may hear.
time,
Say again.
summertime, summertime. You want to?
Exactly.
Okay, okay,
Exactly. So to where it becomes part of the conversation, part of the culture, right?
mm-hmm.
Then also, again, I understand realistically as a man, as a grown man, you know, young people they don't want to be preached to. Okay, so I'm not necessarily going to be the best person to exactly reach young people and preach and teach them in that way. But one of the things that I have an opportunity to do is reach older, more mature people
Mm-hmm.
and to help them to understand a perspective that I think is largely missing. Because I know I've checked out a lot of your programs and I really enjoy it, and I like the work that you do in terms of going deep. Um,
Thank you.
yeah, and sometimes I see you have some younger artists, but one of the things that younger artists have been much more open about that older adults or more mature adults don't often do is they're not as in touch with how they're feeling and being able to communicate how they feel. Okay. Now, I think sometimes younger people don't necessarily have the tools or don't necessarily know how to express that in a productive way. So a lot of times you listen to, so I have a son who's 13 years old, right? And he is a big fan of, what's my boy now? I'm aging myself. 999. What's his name? From, I'm gonna get back to it.
You get
Uh,
that
Man,
age
you
group.
you got to know it, man. You know when I say 999, that's his thing on the t-shirts and all that. Um,
Ah, yeah, my son. I got every age group. I have
okay,
it that age group that's listening to. I know what you're talking about. I don't know the name of it. I listen to that music. So yeah.
okay. So like for example, like young people, they list. I don't know if you know who XXX Extension. He died a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one. A lot of the younger rap that's really infiltrating young people is guys speaking a lot about pain. Okay,
Mhm.
and the same thing if you listen to some of the trap dance from Jamaica, pain. Okay, and so they're able to express themselves
Through the
in a
music.
way
Mhm.
that um, people, even in their 30s, 40s, definitely in their 50s and beyond, have just never been comfortable in expressing themselves, right? And one of the things that I hope to do in my music is for more mature people to hear me expressing myself and sharing how I feel and learn how to be able to do that because the only way to really relate and communicate with a younger generation and reach them where they are is to be able to speak on that level of feelings, right? Which is a
Mhm.
much deeper level of conversation than
Time.
a lot of us have been used to. We've been learning how to speak in cliches, how to speak in terms of our opinions on politics and all that. But in terms of
Mhm.
how something impacts me, if we're going to reach young people, that's one of the ways that I could reach young people. Young people may not be into the style of my music, but
Mhm.
when I go and speak with young people and I can connect with how they're feeling, immediately we have a connection and we could build from there, right?
Yes. Yes, it
But
is.
yeah, but there's no other way to connect with that young people. So the point I'm saying is, whereas my music is not necessarily going to stop somebody from going robbing, shooting, doing all these types of things. Hopefully, what I'm able to do through the connection with the adults is to give them some of the tools to have the conversation with, and all you need to have a conversation is just to be open, just
Yep.
to truly express how you feel and be open to hear how they feel, right?
Yeah,
and
definitely.
then and then you could grow from there.
This is true. You have to
Mhm.
listen. They have a voice. It's
Yeah.
very true. And I've learned that with having six boys. Yeah, I
Oh
did.
wow, you got okay, so you got your hands full, so you know exactly what it is. Yeah, so you
Yeah,
got six different personalities.
totally.
Hmm.
Big time. Like you
Hmm.
have from explosive to just very calm and very quiet.
Yeah.
All quiet, but when they're too quiet, then I know, what's going.
Yeah.
I'm a nosy mama.
Yeah. But the thing is, again, but the thing is that you learn, and you probably know better than anything else. You just can't push, right? When we push our kid and tell me what's going on in it, then they close up. That's it. Forget about it.
Nope, they
You
just
know.
like mom because they're comfortable.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm
And
not your
so,
friend. I
mhm,
mean, but you
exactly.
gotta talk to me. If you don't tell me the truth and tell me what happened, I can't help you. Do not have me go in front of these white folks and you lied to me, and then I'm embarrassed, and then mama's gonna act up big time.
There you go. That's the one thing I said to my son. Just tell me the truth. We could work with anything after that. You tell me the truth and we could work after that. But that's what if you look at my IG profile, one of the things I say is creating safe spaces, right?
Yeah,
And
that's exactly.
that's what we have to do for our kids if we want to be able to really connect with them and want them to um, open up and have some of these conversations is really create a space where we could kind of listen. Because some of the stuff that they're experiencing and some of the stuff that they can share will make us either blush or make us feel really uncomfortable. But we can't give into that. We can't give in to not having those conversations and not opening up to hear what it is they're saying, or shutting them down at all, or definitely not too quickly, but shutting them down at all, that's when we have these things.
This is
Hmm.
true. It's not like it used to be when we were growing up. Bullying, we didn't call it bullying. We was
Yeah.
on this level, but nowadays I don't feel like the kids, this generation coming up now, I don't think they're as strong as we were.
Yeah, I don't know that it. In some ways, they may not be as resilient, but I do think that I think that they're just a lot more in touch with their real feelings, because one of the reasons why we may have been able to deal with bullying a little bit more, with just a cruel world, is that we were just callous to the world around us. Now
Hmm.
the problem with being callous to the world around us and not really feeling and nothing ever bothering us is that we take that throughout the rest of our life. We take that through our relationships, right? We take that to our kids, and so that's part of the challenge now we have relating with our kids, is because we're just so callous to the world. I mean, I saw this with my own self in terms of raising my son. One of the things that I tried, I was down the path of doing, is saying, man, I got to make sure that he tough enough to deal with this and deal with that and deal with the other. And yeah, I want him to build resilience, but I don't want him to be so callous to where he is unfeeling. And then we take from generation to generation.
Yep, them curses.
Um, yeah, the coldness, because again, that's not something that um, is is innate, unnatural to who we are, as people, as Africans, and all that. Most of that is a learned behavior, an adapted behavior that we had to adopt based on the environment that we were in and
Yeah.
just the cruel treatment that we received. But if we want our children to be able to thrive in a new way, we got to give them new skills to be able to deal in that way. Because again, um, my friend is on the line. He said he wanted his son to be a bully. He doesn't mean it. He's just joking. That's my friend. That's
Really, listen, these
no,
parents.
he's just joking. He doesn't want his son to be a bully. He has the most beautiful son in the world, who's less than 2 years old, and that's
Man,
a
they're
joke. But
terrible. 2-year-olds are terrorists all the way till they're 5.
I know that they shoot, yeah, they bully adults. So yeah, I know that for a fact. Yeah.
Yeah, that are bullying me. I'm telling you, I told you every age group.
Oh, you got every age group. Wow.
Tell me, so what skills have you learned that helped you in your singing career thus far?
You mean like specifically like vocal skills or anything, or just generally?
Yeah, well, generally and vocals.
I think one of the things that helped me develop my skills in terms of singing is just singing from a very young age. Like, I don't know if I mentioned it here, but I started singing in choirs at school,
Yeah.
in primary school, probably from the age of 6 or so, and I sang all the way through high school. I did talent shows, and so when you're in a choir, you learn
Oh, I actually
different techniques.
chose too. Did you ever do? Because most singers that come from like your background, they do talent.
Yeah, yeah. So I did little talent shows when I was in primary school. I did a Valentine's show one time. I sang a love song. I won the best talent in the year. Um, I did, different things like that. I played in, I also studied like music theory in school for a few years, probably like 3 or 4 years. That was back in high school. So these are things that helped me. But just practicing and just loving to sing, that's how I kind of developed my skills there vocally. And then I'm also a musician, so I'm an instrumentalist. I play guitar on all my music. And so I
I
did,
saw that.
and you saw that? Okay, good.
One
Yeah.
has the saxophone. Oh God, is my favorite.
Yeah, and the sax is played by the great Dean Fraser out of Jamaica. When he plays with Taurus Riley and with Dwayne Stevenson, a lot of people. I mean, he's a foundation reggae icon, and so he
Yeah.
plays the sax on my album.
So, what do you think about the recent trend right now in the music industry?
Uh, which one? I mean,
Yeah,
in terms of?
in the reggae? Because I mean, you're kind of both. You're kind of in both worlds. Reggae
Yeah.
and kind of, pop and a little bit of R&B. You're kind of
Mm-hmm.
diverse.
Straddling, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot, I know there's a big conversation around, especially around dance hall, around trap dance hall
Yeah.
and chopping sounds and sounds about scamming and all that. You know, um, I think there is artistically there's always room to do a lot of different things. I mean, I tend to focus more on content in terms of the message that you're saying, right? Because for my music, it's not necessarily just about the beat. I mean, I have some songs that you could like, especially the reggae songs, you kind of skank to and do some different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm more conveying a message, right?
Yeah, like
Um,
hear your music like in Olive Garden or something.
yeah.
It's down and it's like, oh, this
Yeah.
isn't or a lounge.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Speaking of which, I got a show coming up on December 14th in Houston. I got my album release party. We'll talk about that. But back to the question that you had.
Mm-hmm.
I think um, there is some work that we need to do that the artists need to do, and I don't think that it could be regulated, legislated how they do it. But I do think that the artists need to be more conscious about what it is that they're speaking out there, right? You're a pastor's kid, so you heard this a million times. Words have power, right?
It
And
does. It
yeah,
really does. You'll be
and
surprised.
no, I wouldn't be surprised. So the words that we continue to speak, they plant in our mind, they plant in our subconscious, and that's how we act. So as time goes on, the different styles tend to meld together. So, reggae has influenced hip hop, and now hip hop is influencing dance hall and all these types of things. And I don't really have a strong opinion on it. I mean, music is for the people who listen to it, and if the people who listen to it like the beats and like that sort of stuff, who am I to tell them what to like, right? Because it's extremely subjective, right? But I would
Mhm.
say, so in terms of the sound of the music and the style, I can't really criticize people for doing that. But I would say that the the content, we need to be conscious of the content. And I think that's where, you hear younger artists say that older artists don't really spend the time to really help them to develop and nurture. That's what younger artists say. And older artists are saying the younger artists don't listen. Well,
Mm-hmm.
part of if you want them to listen, you got to listen as well, right?
There
And
you go.
then with the because I think a lot of that comes from a mindset of there being this kind of limited amount of opportunities, right? Where the older artists may be in some way, either consciously or subconsciously, fearful that the younger artists are going to come and take their space and push them out. And then the younger artists may feel like, hey, this guy blocking my space. And so, I don't want to hear anything he got to say because, you know, I'm coming to take his space. His time is done, right? So I
That's
think,
coming in like,
yeah. So that's why I think there needs to be more across generation communication. That's
mm,
the same. So music is just a microcosm. Music industry is just a microcosm of what we're experiencing in our society. Again, in my album, that's one of the things I'm talking about. Multi-generational relationships. I have a song on there where I'm reflecting on the first song on the album, All the Colors, is
yeah.
me reflecting on my grandmothers, right? Yeah,
Ooh.
that's what that song is about. The second song, Story of My Life, that you heard is me, a duet with my dad that I wrote, originally recorded by myself. I did a remix with my dad, but I wrote that song from the perspective of my dad speaking through me to my son. And so
Ooh.
that's the idea there. And so throughout the album there will be, and throughout my music, that's one of the things that I'm conscious about is the impact and the importance of multi-generational dialogue. That's where when we would say a person who doesn't know their history are doomed to repeat it. But
Mm-hmm.
how do you learn your history if you do not have dialogue across the generations?
This is true. This is true. How would you know without asking questions?
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about the politics in the music industry? Do you feel like there isn't any?
There's politics in anything. Okay, okay. So I got something for that. I see. Here's what I see. Because in broader society, because like I say, I am an attorney. I'm an advocate. I do a lot of work in my community and all that.
I see
And
that. Like,
and
woo,
people,
got an attorney? Ooh.
yeah, there you go. And so people, a lot of times people say, I'm not into politics. I don't like politics. I don't like politics in the workplace. Well, the purpose of politics is dialogue, right? And the
Hmm.
alternative of politics is just hitting somebody in the head with a stick or shooting them with a gun, right? So there's only two ways to solve a problem: either to talk it out or to fight it out, right? And so the idea of politics in the music business, yes, there's I think a lot of situations where people who have certain relationships, they 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 protect those relationships and they don't open the door for other people, which I don't think is helpful and I don't think is, it doesn't benefit anybody in the long run.
Hmm.
Um, but I think it's something that we need to talk about, right? I think it's something that we need to talk about because yes, and that comes really from a place of people thinking with a scarcity mindset and limited resources. So for me, for example, I started out doing my first EP was primarily targeted towards a gospel kind of Christian
That's crazy.
perspective.
Interviewing a Christian.
Yeah. Say again that. What you say? That's odd for you. You say?
No, no,
Yeah.
no, no, no. I told you I'm interviewing a Christian tonight.
Okay, good. So he should be proud of you then.
Yeah,
So good.
today.
Okay, good. For today. Okay, well that's good. Hey man, baby steps, baby steps. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the thing is, one of the things that in the gospel space, because people ask me, "Are you a gospel artist?" Right? And especially people in the Caribbean, and I have to tell them, "Look, in when you say gospel in America, it means something very different. It doesn't mean just singing music that has Christian lyrics or whatever. It means a certain type of music. There's,
Yeah.
the Kirk Franklin, the this, it's
Yeah.
tied predominantly to black churches, and there's a whole culture around that that's very closed. You understand? And they and that community let me know right off the bat, hey, you are not gospel, and this is not your place, right? So
They tell you
yeah.
straight to
Oh
yours
yeah,
now.
straight up. And so that was good for me. So it wasn't even too much politics there. It was more um it was more just, hey, this is not your place. But one of the things that I found is that was really helpful to me. It's better to know where you don't fit in so you could either create your lane or find where you fit in. So in those same spaces, I'm the reggae guy. So even in those church things, I'm not coming to do what they're trying to do. So I'm not a threat to them. So the door is always open. It's just like in society, there's always room for one black person. There's not room for 10, right? So in those gospel spaces, there's room for a reggae guy to come and sing a reggae song or two. But if
Mm-hmm.
I were coming doing what they were doing, then it would be, hey, this doesn't work for you.
This
Similarly,
one, yeah.
um, yeah, similarly in the in some of the reggae space, um, it's gonna be, hey, you're not from Jamaica, but that doesn't bother me, and it's not. I know who it is that I am, and I know the lane that I'm in.
Yeah, you're still Caribbean.
Yeah, but again, this is what I'm saying. The reason why it doesn't bother me is I just understand the reality of life. And so any time that I spend getting upset by that is time that's taken away from me working on what I need to work on,
This
right?
is
So I just make my own lane.
this is true.
Yeah.
So tell me this. You do a lot of mentoring. Have you
Hmm.
taught one how to play an instrument?
Yeah, I did a lot of that when I was like really full time as a worship leader. at the church where I was associate pastor.
Hmm.
A lot of the musicians, yeah, yeah, that's my background. Yeah, a lot of the musicians who um, I had to, we had some musicians who were paid, and then some musicians who would be volunteered, and so they would be teenagers or something, and so I'd have to stay, practice extra with them, teach them how to do that and all that. So yeah, that's something I enjoy doing sometimes. Even one of the collaborations that's um, on this album, there's a track called More Than Enough. There's a young brother by the name of Kaheem Richardson who's featured on that.
Hmm.
I would say, I worked with him as a developing artist. When we recorded that song, he was about 20 years old and kind of getting into it. And so, yeah, that's something I enjoy doing.
I love that. I mentor young teenage boys too.
Okay,
It's
well, that's great. And
yeah,
you got a lot of practice with that.
man, look. No, no, I can't really complain. I got good kids because they think I'm crazy, and my boys are very quiet.
Hmm.
They don't embarrass me,
Yeah,
and I don't care.
yeah.
So they know, once they see the eyes get big, and they be like,
Oh, yeah.
"Oh man, her eyes are getting big. I gotta go."
Mm, there you go.
No, 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 no. So, tell me, how do you handle like, say you get a kid that you're mentoring in, and you're giving them hope to do this. How do you, like keep them focused and stay in the music industry, and you're telling them to tell their story just like how you told your story?
Okay. So again, I don't have a whole lot of experience. I got a couple of cases of
Oh,
people who, I'm talking about people who are doing it professionally because it sounds like the question that you're asking is somebody who's kind of trying to develop into being a professional musician. How would I
yeah.
work with them? I got a couple of examples like that, a couple of actual real world cases like that. But I would say the key thing I that I would have to communicate to young people, and it's communicate to anybody who's trying to do music professionally, or anything on a professional level, is just patience, right? Patience and
Okay.
understanding the process. The process, there's no way to, if you go on YouTube, if you go on the internet, everybody's trying to sell you a shortcut or trying to convince you there's a shortcut. Your friends and your family, sometimes your worst enemy in that regard, because
Yeah.
they buy into the story, right? Every musical artist that you hear, there's some marketing person out there crafting a story, and it's the same arc. Somebody discovered them, they were just playing somewhere, and it just happened, and they blew up overnight, and all that. And so that's the story that a lot of people believe is the path, and that really is never the path. There's no, even like, so you hear about like Justin Bieber. Oh, Usher saw Justin Bieber on YouTube and Bliss. So all of that's just BS. None of that really happened, right? But that's the easiest story for people to process, and so
Yeah.
it gives people, the listener, hope that there's a shortcut, right? So that's an
Yeah.
easy story to sell, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if I told you the story, like, hey, well, how did I get in this? Well, I was a grown man in my 40s, and one day I said, you know what, man, I'm gonna start writing music. And I just went in the studio. 2 weeks later, I came out with an album. And then when I put that album out, the first week it came out, it debuted in the top 10 on the iTunes reggae charts, which it did, right? But it didn't happen like that, right? I've been doing music, like I
Yeah.
say, in churches and all that stuff for
Years.
more than 10 years. The first time I released a song professionally was 4.5 years ago, April 15, 2008. Story of My Life, the original version. I've been working diligently to create new music, record new music, work on my skills, meet people, and working and then kind of connecting with a team to kind of get things out, and I'm continuing to work. So it's no, it's, probably if I went somewhere, if somebody was writing up a brief 2 sentence or 3 sentence blurb, it would sound like a quick thing. This, here's this older guy who just came in and just did all that. No, it just worked, right? And so that's the thing to get across to young people. There's no shortcuts in the process. It just worked.
That's what I was going to say. What advice do you have to give to somebody you did? Tell me, how important is a team to you?
Oh yeah, you got to have a team. You got to have a team. And the thing I would say about that is, in order for you to build a team, you've got to you've got to start to do the work on your own, right?
Yeah.
Meaning you've got to, in order for people to kind of get on board to push what you're doing forward, they've got to be inspired by what you're doing and see some benefit in it for themselves, right? So
Mhm.
some people get offended by that. They say, well, they're just doing it because they feel like they could get something out of it. Well, of course, that's why people do things, right?
It's
People, yeah, I
just
mean, anything. I mean,
they want to get paid.
yeah, if they want to get paid, or maybe they might want something else. Maybe what they want is just the experience of being a part of something successful and
Yeah.
being affirmed and thanked for the work that they do, right? So it's
Hmm.
important to know what it is that people want in the process, because not everybody, for some people, the money is not going to be enough. Whatever money you can pay them is not going to be enough. But sometimes just the gratitude or the ability to say that they were a part of the process, and that's very valuable for a lot of people. But
Yeah.
we can't feel like, hey, um, you know, they just want something. Everybody wants something. When you raise your kids, I mean, when you feed your kids in the morning, you want something, right? Yeah, I mean, you're not just feeding them because you got food to throw away. You feed them because you want them to be healthy, you want them to be successful, you want that, you want something.
Strong. Yeah.
Yeah,
Must be strong, grown black men.
there you go.
That's the best thing you said. You
Yeah,
said, I love that.
yeah.
Showing them. Describe your favorite performance that you've done thus far.
Okay, well, the most memorable one that I did so far was earlier this year at Moonsplash. That's my dad's music festival, and that was the first time that I had a chance, to be leading my own set with my dad and my brother on the stage. So I performed there a couple of times before, not not in that kind of prime position with my full band. But then to have my dad come on stage and my brother to be on stage playing as part of my band for several of the songs, that was a really special experience for me. Yeah, I posted some of the footage from that on IG a little bit earlier today.
I said, "Oh my God, look at this! This is growing up in a musical household like that must have been very entertaining and fun."
Uh, I would. It wasn't exactly like that. So it wasn't. Say again. I'm sorry.
Still a Caribbean house, isn't it?
Yeah, no. So not in a bad way, but my dad was an active musician, so he was mostly on travel, and so I'm not saying that he was never there, but we didn't. There was certain times when my larger family. So my dad comes from a family where there are more musicians. Like all of my dad's brothers know how to play music on some level. He had two sisters. One has passed on, but both of them were good guitar players and performed out and sang as part of different groups and all that. So with our family, like around Christmas and other times like that, everybody, Banky and Mari, we have multiple generations, cousins and all that. We get together for caroling and singing songs and doing different things like that. And every time we have a bigger family gathering, there's always instruments and music there. And now, even like with our generation, like when we get together at my mom's house or around my dad or something like that, we'll all bring our instruments and all that. So music is a big part of it right now. But in our specific household, we had music around us, but wasn't like we were just going to get together, jam all the time. But it's something that grew over time. But he definitely modeled the behavior in terms of what it meant to be a professional musician, that we
Mm,
could observe it.
that's nice because you didn't
Hmm.
know what you wanted to do from small.
Say again?
I said you didn't know you wanted to be a musician from you were young, right?
Yeah, no, it wasn't something. I mean, I enjoyed writing the songs, I enjoyed singing, but it wasn't something that I said, yeah, when I grew up,
That
this is what I'm be and all that. And I think part of that was the fact that my dad was a musician, an artist, And, back in those times, it's not like now where, if your dad's a musician or artist, everybody's like, oh, that's a cool thing. My
Yeah.
dad, he he has his own style, so he's a guy, he would wear, long t-shirts down to his knees. He got boots, he got a belt on the outside of his t-shirt, he got, all of that stuff. And so he just had a unique style that's always stood out. But especially when you're from a small place and people don't know that much about fashion like that, oh
Mhm.
man, you setting yourself up for jokes and ridicule all the time. 'Cause it's like, yeah, yeah.
Oh God, no, 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 no. Tell me, do you have like any fears about being in the industry? Because you've grown some popularity, I would say probably in the last 2 years. Like your name is out there.
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't have any fears. I mean, no. I mean, before I used to be, I struggled up until maybe a couple of years ago when I started. I try to keep my life compartmentalized. So I didn't want the people, from my legal profession knowing that
Uh,
I was doing music and this and all that.
that's
But
true.
yeah, but I've grown to that point to where, hey man, hey, you just gotta. I'm not hurting anybody, so you just gotta either accept me or don't, and that's your business, and this is my business.
Yeah, yeah. It's like in
Yeah.
my yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no. So I'm not. I mean, I'm not out there doing no dirt. So I'm not got nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah, this is good. So tell me, in your opinion, what qualities do you think make a great musician?
I think in order to be okay, in order to be technically good, I mean, like good at your instrument and to be able to technically execute, you got to practice, right? You got to put a lot of time in. So I'll oftentimes go back to my brother. My brother again is a guy by the name of Olaide Banks. You got to
Hmm.
have him on your show sometimes. He's
I do. I'm about to go look it up when we're done. I sure am.
yeah, but one of the things that he has the ability to do. Thank you, Wendy.
Yeah, I all like, hey girl.
Yeah, one of the things that he has the ability to do is practice intensely for a long time. Okay. So if you want to be a good athlete, you want to be a good musician, you want to be a good attorney, you want to be a good anything you want to be, what it takes is regular practice, consistent practice, and practicing the right things. Not just doing it, but practicing and understanding your craft. So if you want to be a good guitar player, you got to study the guitar in and out. And every day you've got to be practicing consistently and not just playing, because playing is not practicing. Playing is playing. Practicing is learning techniques and building skill that you could execute when you're playing. So that's what it takes to be a good musician. And I
Listen,
continue to work on that, right?
so tell us, what would you want your fans to know, like about you, specifically you as a person?
Um, what I want to know about me. I want them to know everything they need to know about me. You're going to hear in my music because I'm going to be very transparent. But one of the things that I want them to know about me is that I am on a process of growth, and I want to invite people to be in that process of growth with me, right? And part of it is, yeah, growing as an artist and growing my reach through my music, but part of it is growing as a person. And I think one of the things that we
I was,
can all do, and one of the things that we all need to do, is continue that process of self exploration and
hmm
continue to grow as a person. One of the things that I've started saying, and I heard it somewhere else, is, you know, it's one thing to lie to other people, and we may think it's bad to lie to other people, but it's terrible to lie to yourself. You know what I mean? The worst thing you can do is lie to yourself.
it's
And
true.
so we have to always be exploring ourselves and telling ourselves the truth, but learn how to love ourselves in spite of the truth about ourselves. And that's the way that we could grow. And so, what I want to tell people about me is I'm on that process of growth, and I want to invite them to just be a part of that process with me because I think we could we could impact and change so much of about our society if we the silent majority, as I would say, the
Hmm.
sane people, were to connect around that growth and connect around things that are good, things that are clean, music that makes sense, we could have a real impact on our culture and not let the very noisy minority dominate the conversation.
This is so true. It's so deep. It's true. I was listening to your song story, and I'm
Hmm.
saying it resonates so bad. Don't be surprised to hear it playing in one of my photo shoots.
Hey man, you are welcome to make as many reels and put it out there. That's what I'm telling people, man. Look, play the songs and tag me in it.
Stream it. Stream my music. Stream.
Yeah. That's the other thing I say. Look, stream the music because it doesn't cost you anything to stream the music. If you're paying for streaming service anyway, my music is not going to cost you anything. But if the music connects with you and speaks to you in a certain way, then what I encourage people to do is then download the music, right? Because as artists, if we are going to continue to make good music, the only way that we're going to be able to do that is if people buy the music. So I would say if you don't know me, you don't know any of my music, I'm not going to say go and buy my music now. No, listen to it, stream it, right? And I guarantee you that somewhere on this album there's going to be something that connects with you. Whether or
Oh,
not you just into straight reggae, there's something to connect with you. If you want to hear something tender, you want to hear a song about love, listen to Loving You. You want to hear about the reality of what it is to be married for 23 years and how you navigate that, listen to Picture Book. If you want to
album is dope.
say again, okay, well, I
It's
appreciate you saying that.
like, guys, I don't know. I'm one of those people that likes to leave. I'm a party girl. I like to go out, but
Yeah.
CD is something you can sit down and drink your wine and you really be in your thoughts deeply. I'm like,
There
dang,
you go.
look, listen.
Yeah.
And you can just play your album, and I'm telling you, you're in such a frame of mind where you're sitting, dang.
That's the so one of the things that you're gonna see that I think one of the challenges that people had in my music initially is not knowing how to consume it, right?
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's got this kind of content. Well, can I listen to it with friends? Can I listen to it in a club? Can I listen to it in a bar? Can I have
Right.
a drink
Yeah.
while I'm
Yep.
doing it? Yes, 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 and
Yes.
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 So
Yep.
for example, the ideal, I mean, in my mind, the picture that I see is some of the songs, there's a party, there's family, there's multi-generational things going on, there's music in the background, people are eating food, somebody's drinking, somebody's playing dominoes, somebody, older person is telling a story to a younger person, okay, and it's just that. That's part of how the music is to be consumed.
Yep.
Then the music to be consumed, you and your partner, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your wife, or whatever, you sitting out on the porch or you sitting in the living room, you listening to music, you have a glass of wine, and you just enjoying each other's company.
Yep.
That's another way that the music could be consumed and enjoyed. On December 14th, when we have the album release party, one of the things I'm very proud of is, along with my band, we put on, a bad show. We play our music live. And the one thing I could say is, you may not be into my music, but you can't say that it's not good music and you can't say it's not a good show. And
No.
so when people come out to see it, they're gonna experience that.
Yeah, I watched a couple of your shows, and I'm like, dang. When I come to Texas to come visit, I'm definitely gonna catch one of those shows.
Maybe when I come to the DMV, because my brother goes to the DMV sometimes, and maybe now I might be able to open for him. Maybe I'm big enough now to open for him.
Oh yeah, there. Look, the DMV is Chocolate City.
So
We
I'm saying,
every single day. There's something every day of the week.
yeah, yeah. I had a lot of friends who,
Big crowds that come.
yeah, I had a lot of friends who went to Howard, and also, we've
HU.
done stuff over there. Yeah, there you go.
Hmm. Yeah, we got a lot of good schools over here.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
the DMV is definitely a big educational institution out here. Definitely
Yeah.
big time. Big time.
Definitely.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. You you were such a dope interview. I knew you were going to be anyway. You
Well, I
guys
appreciate
all
you saying that.
Yes, it is. I was so excited. Shout out to Wendy. Wendy is my homie, man.
Yeah,
She's
man.
like
She's in it. She's in it.
and I was like, all right, shoot him to me. Let me see what's going on. I'm like, dang, you sound okay. Because I'm one of those people like I try to give the Caribbean culture a voice
Yeah. I
here.
appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, I'm not born in the island, but I have Caribbean parents, so I should know.
Gotcha. I didn't want to ask you. I didn't want to be rude and get in your business, but yeah, but I'm
Yep,
glad that you shared that.
yep. I'm a Yankee, so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give my people a voice and a platform. If you can't get on FM dial, you can get on Chit Chat.
There you go. There you
So,
go.
yep, I have my parents are Caribbean,
Okay.
Cuban,
Where they from?
Haiti,
Haiti. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Haiti and
Yeah,
Cuba.
man. Haiti and Cuba. I mean, like those are two the most impactful countries in terms of Caribbean culture.
Hmm.
I mean, you know that already. I mean, anybody who knows anything about the struggle for Black liberation know about Toussaint from Haiti,
Yep.
and there's much more to Haiti than just that. And then Cuba, obviously, Cuba has been a cradle for a lot of other Caribbean islands. We had people from our island who traveled all the way to Cuba to farm work
Yeah.
early in the 20th century. So there's a lot of the melding of the cultures there. That's good to know.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
I am. I am a Yankee, but I
there
love
you
the
go.
Caribbean. I
Yeah,
do, and it's
good
crazy
deal.
because I put in my children, so I keep the generation going. You would
That's
be surprised.
great.
Never know, because the way I cook and all that is I cook from back home.
That's great, man. That's what you got to do. Yeah, that's one of the things I'm doing. I had one of the things I do on social media sometimes just do a little something for the people. I show some of my cooking videos. So this week,
Oh,
yeah, man, I cook anything: rice and peas, saltfish, jerk chicken. But we
man, you
make
you gotta send me the live. Caribbean people, we like to eat.
yeah, okay, well, good. Yeah, so I was this week. I made something we call Johnny cakes, which are like little
Oh, I know.
rolls, like little
Don't
biscuits.
you come from Guyana?
Guyana and Anguilla. So in Anguilla,
Yeah,
so we make them. So at my son's school this week, they had like
international.
international breads and all that. So we send some of those to school.
Love.
Yeah,
I love it. I love when they have internet. Look, when they have International Day, they be begging us. Tell your parents to make some curry.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I was like, we have other food besides curry. Hello.
I know, right?
I love that. I love that. You guys, all colors are out on all digital platforms. Stream, 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 stream. His music is there.
Yeah.
Miss, you have anything that you want to tell your fans on here?
Yeah, whether or not you're a fan or not, let me tell you this. Go to my web. I'm just being silly, but you can go to my website. My website is just my name. It's www.olaidebanks.com. And so on my website, there are links to all the streaming services. There's a lot of information on there about work that I'm doing in the community. For people who want to engage in social activism, there are articles on there and tools and references for people who want to you know, continue to grow in that area. So yeah, check out www.olaidebanks.com. Definitely follow me on Instagram. You'll see sometimes pictures of me performing, but sometimes you'll see pictures of food that I make. I like taking nature pictures, so I go walking by the river out here and I take pictures. Then I love taking
You're
pictures of flowers. So
on the side.
say again.
You do some photography on the side. It's a hobby.
Yeah. It's just for fun. I don't want to diminish it, but it's something that I love doing. Um, is
Nature.
something, yeah, nature photography in particular. Just close up shots of different flowers that I see in the wild, or things that I see by the river, or something like that.
Which flower are you?
Oh God, that's the one question I can't answer. If I had to be a flower, maybe flamboyant. We have in the islands we have a plant called a flamboyant,
Oh yeah.
They call it shock shock, and it's bright, and beautiful, and orange during the
Mm.
summer. And so maybe I might be a flamboyant. I don't know.
I want to be. I like sunflowers.
Oh, you like sunflowers? Okay, that's a beautiful. I get a lot of pictures of sunflowers when I go walking down by the river as well.
I seen. I saw on your page. I was like,
Okay,
oh. So here
okay, there
we
you go.
go. Oh, it brings it makes so nice. I love sunflowers too.
Well, good, good, good. Yeah, they grow in the wild out here.
Yeah, I know. I've heard a lot about Texas. You guys are on the news a lot.
Well, there's more to Texas than what you see on the news, man. There's a
Oh, they say y'all got houses over there for like $5. Like it's cheap.
look. I'm gonna tell you right now, man. Our neighbors actually moved down from the DMV, man. We got people moved down from the north. We got people moved from California. Y'all driving up the housing prices. We were doing good out here for years, man. And the
Upper.
secret got out. The secret got out, and y'all coming out here buying up stuff, man.
Back in the price is up too now.
Yeah, but we happy to have you. But I remember years ago I would tell people, my cousins and people up north about Houston. They're like, man, that's
I know.
down the south, and
I did. I
it's
got cowboy boots on. Look at the black man with a cowboy hat on.
exactly that's what they would see. And then when they come down here, they were like, I have a cousin. She lives in New York. She's like, but I didn't see anybody riding horses, and it's like, no, it's not like that. I could take you to places where you can see that, but it's really a kind of hidden gem, man. It's one of the things that is similar to growing up in the islands is you just have more space,
Yeah.
You have a yard, there's just green stuff that you could see, and that's a beautiful thing about Texas and Houston in particular.
Yep. And people, if you didn't know, most of the Powerball winners are in Texas. I don't know what they got going on over there, but they're like,
Man, I'm telling you, well, there's none at this address, but yeah. They actually made me go out and buy. Well, not they. I mean, the Powerball people. I was like, man, that's too high. I gotta buy a ticket. I went out there. I really thought I was gonna win too, and I was big mad when I didn't win.
you never know. That's right. Never know. I've had faith since I was 16. I'm telling you, never.
Look, man, I had more than faith. I was big mad. I was absolutely certain I was gonna win. And I was mad when I didn't win.
No, you guys have the most winners on Powerball. You see, I'm so into this stuff. I'm telling you, I be looking at state wins all the time. And it's true. You guys be hitting all the time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know if that's a good thing, but yeah, but that's good. Well, let me know.
Yeah, that's so great. I'm so glad, Olaide, Mr. Banks. I'm so
Yeah.
glad you came on to my show. Thank you so much for me, your girl Telly Lati, and my DJ Don Cardio. One day I'm gonna bring Cardio on because people are like, "What does Cardio look like?"
That's what I'm saying. No, because I'm saying that well, he can't just walk behind the camera right now. Because I'm saying I looked at all these episodes because I tried to do my homework, and I hadn't seen Don Cardio.
No, Cardio is a busy man. He's a busy young man.
Okay.
He just graduated. Or
Mm-hmm.
he's an accountant. I'm
Gotcha.
very proud of him. He's
Okay.
master's right now, so
Oh
he
wow.
goes out. Yes, very intelligent young man. Very,
Excellent.
and
Well,
he's a
keep
he loves music, but
uh,
he knows.
well keep up the good work, Don Cardio, and then one of these times show your face on the camera, man. The people need to see.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna bring Cardio on one of these evenings. He DJs on Fridays. That's why a lot of you guys don't see him. He's already like he should be pulling up to the club now.
Gotcha.
One day I'm gonna make him go live on the thing. I'm just gonna go live and y'all can see him playing on there.
Good.
Yeah, because he does play your music. We gotta catch the videos.
Good. All right. Well, good.
He
Good.
does. He plays the songs in the clubs. He's booked at quite a few events. So,
Mm.
he picks his crowd on where he should play what music where. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Gotcha. Gotcha.
a lot of weddings. Your music would be really good there.
Yeah, look, man, I appreciate you saying that because there's a song that we hadn't really started promoting it yet. We're probably going to be promoting it next year, probably in January. But the people who listen to the album, who've heard it, there's a song called "Loving You" on there, and that I'm doing with my friend Coretta Bell. And everybody's like, "Who is that? Who is Coretta Bell?" It's one of the songs that I'm really proud of. And I think when people listen to the whole album and they listen to it a few times, that song is gonna have a special meaning. So there's some Easter eggs in there on the album that I'm not gonna give away. It's only for like hardcore fans that are gonna get that one. Get the whole album.
It's what you say. It's loving you.
Loving You.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Let me see, guys. Let me see if
It's track number 9.
I think I got it right here. Loving you. Let me see. It's the instruments on your album for me.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see. Oh yeah. Bro, that's why I read.
I hope you'll find it in your heart. Hear it through. Cool. All new story.
You see, you listen to this in like a jazz club, you know what I
There
mean?
you go.
And like a lounge. It's like it has a vibe. This is some grown people stuff. You know what I'm saying?
All grown folks music. That's how it is, man.
Yeah. Like this is definitely like wedding material
There you go.
or like a chill spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So this is a song that people are gonna be playing for the first dance at a wedding for 30 years to come. Once people hear it.
Yeah, hopefully longer than 30. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, maybe.
I want to thank you so much, you guys. We have Olaide Banks here. He's on all digital platforms. Make sure you check him out. Follow him on all social media platforms. It's Olaide Banks. Y'all know what bank is because y'all be.
Yeah.
You gotta follow him. We gotta have you come back on for some legal advice.
Look, man, just let me know, man. I'm dropping that knowledge. Yeah.
I do. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for coming on the Chit Chat Show.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. You have a beautiful spirit, beautiful personality, beautiful person. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. You're so dope. I'm gonna see you next time because I'll definitely be in touch.
Thanks much.
You too.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.